Those unelected government folks no can. They broke into the Giordano Bruno laboratories and they take almost everybody. Don't know where they went take them, but when they had Pascal and a few other technicians left, when there was Pauhana, Pascal had stay. I find out he's still working for 4 days. The security had bring him to the infirmary, and he's still a boss. When I asked him how come he never go home for 4 days, he said the boss gon' get no know-how with them all if the work must step out. I go give the security colorful kick the bosses so cool he make you follow work like that again. Pascal said no more nobody else for help him, so he would keep working. I asked him, who the boss? And he says that we chai makamaka Felon rust. Poor Pascal is still boss up. His control him a jang. He no can stand up.
Wait, slow down. I don't understand. What are you trying to say?
Oh, sorry about that. I guess I got a little too excited. Anyway, I think you'd better talk to Pascal Curious. I mean, I already tried talking to him, but he seemed so frightened and scared. Let me back up a bit. The security from Giordano Bruno Laboratories carried Pascal into the infirmary earlier this evening. Yes, I know he's my patient, and I shouldn't be talking about him. But he's also our friend. And after so many years, maybe like family. Probably is distant family to one of us. But I think he needs to hear from you. No, I stabilized him, but he's still in terrible condition. Starved, dehydrated, and was so exhausted, he tried to leave but couldn't even stand on his own. He would have hit his head on the cabinet if I didn't catch him. From what I understand, he's been working for 4 days straight. Evidently Giordano Bruno Laboratories was bought up by that jerk billionaire in the government, Felon Rust. Apparently he's a slave driver. The raid that was conducted earlier this week, they swept nearly all the staff up in the laboratory, including Vidkun and Laszlo. Slave driver Rust still demands that the work be done, so Pascal and the few remaining laboratory staff have been trying to do it all by themselves. I started him on an IV, lactated ringer solution, but he tried to rip the IV line out, so I was forced to sedate him. He's going to try and escape when the sedative wears out. I just know it. You got a reason with him, Vince?
Okay, let's go to the infirmary.
Chairman Lopane, Dr. Shiroyama, thanks for taking care of me, but I have to return to work. We are extremely short-staffed, and we have to finish the projects before the deadline next week. And we have so many more research projects to start on.
You no can go back work yet? You're dehydrated, half starving, so exhausted that your blood pressure is dangerously high, and you need that IV. Rest, at least for tonight. Let me make you some food. When was the last time you even ate?
I don't remember. We had so much work to finish, and I have to go back. Those guys in the vans, they took nearly all of the staff at the lab, even Vidkun and Laszlo. And I don't understand, they were born in Strangetown just as I was.
I still think after hearing the lab was raided and now Laszlo and Vidkun were abducted, and then you worked for 4 days straight. Sometimes, Pascal, you could be worse than Elsa and Joe, who overwork themselves a lot. The last time Joe overworked himself, Sayaka had to drag him out of his job. And the last time Elsa overworked himself, I heard Ren had to throw him into the Firefly Funhouse.
I don't think Joe and Elsa had a boss as cruel as Felon Rust. The bosses may have actually found humor in their wives hauling them out of their jobs, since they in all likelihood forgot to stop working when their days were done. I have no such luxury. In addition to our usual astrobiological study, Mr. Rust wants us to develop engines and fuels for the cars his automotive company produces. Evidently, the last generation was lacking. And if we don't complete what Rust has ordered, we'll have to do mandatory overtime.
And what you're doing isn't already overtime?
Wait, no. I am not going to let you keep working, Pascal. You have done too much already. And you've done enough, I think. You need to rest.
Once again, thanks for taking care of me, but I have to go back to work. Where's my lab uniform?
I had the locker room staff wash it. It was soaked through with your sweat. You must have been working for days in it. Now, go back to bed, Pascal. That is an order. I order this, not just as a doctor, but also as your friend and family. I have admitting privilege at Strangetown University Hospital, and have arranged to transfer you there.
Why? I feel quite normal now. I better get back to the lab. Let me borrow one of your scrubs, friend. It will be a little short on me, but it wouldn't be proper for me to return to the lab like this.
It wouldn't be proper for you to return to work at all. At least not until you're well again. Pascal, do you know why you blacked out earlier this evening? You have all the symptoms of cardiogenic shock. Your blood pressure is dangerously elevated. Your arms and legs are cold and clammy to the touch. You're short of breath. And it is clear that your heart is straining to keep an adequate amount of blood flowing to your organs. Pascal, please don't try to return to work now. Go to the hospital for observation tonight. What will Vidkun and Laszlo do if they know I allowed you to keep working when you're in this condition?
If Vidkun and Laszlo come home and are deported to Kiteshglad or Villa Strunia,
What about nervous subject then? If anything happens to you, what will become of him? You're his best friend. And General Buzz Grunt will kill me if I let you return to work.
cancel my admission to Strangetown University Hospital. If I don't return to work, the others will have to work even harder. We'll have to do even more overtime.
4 days is overtime enough already. What would you call 5 or 6 days? Overtime? You know what I would call it? Potentially fatal.
I'm going to say this one more time, Pascal. You disobey the doctor's orders and return to work. I will physically have to fight you. I don't care if it's in the ring. I don't care if it's with our swords. I will fight you.
I couldn't possibly fight you. I'm too exhausted and uncoordinated right now.
And you're not in any condition to work either. Don't make me sedate you again. Your heart might not be able to take it. Why can't you just rest? It's the only way you'll get well again.
But, Felon Rust,
And if Rust calls to demand that you go back to work this week, I will deal with Rust myself. Rust doesn't deserve good scientists like the Curious Brothers.
Yeah, if Felon Rust has anything to say about it, I'll sedate him. He's already got enough money to last in 10 lifetimes, and it will do him no good, since money still can't buy immortality as far as I know.
If Felon Rust comes for you, Dr. Shiroyama won't need to sedate him. I will, with my fist.
Buzz, you heard?
The gym's right outside this infirmary. I was getting your workout in before going home, and the way you were all shouting, I wouldn't be surprised if the many dead bodies buried in the sand from the Battle of Picacho Pass heard also. Now you get your ass to the hospital, Pascal, or do I have to put you there myself?
Okay, you're right. But I think I'd better shower before going to the hospital though. I don't remember when I showered last.
Good idea. If you don't mind using the locker room showers, we installed benches in there that you can sit on. You're still weak and not very steady on your feet.
You think you'll need any help? I have to shower anyway before going home.
I think I can manage.
Okay, get a move on. I can pick you up off the floor if you lose your balance.
Good. Just call if you need anything. I'll have the locker room staff bring you all some fresh towels and washcloths. Help yourselves to any of the personal care products you might need. And do try the Kukui Nut Oil Body Wash. They make it in my hometown, so I make sure the SWS locker rooms are well stocked with it.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. I'll go make you some soup and a sandwich. Want some too, Buzz?
No, thank you though. I have to go home as soon as I get done here. Gotta be at Fort Bounty at 0500 tomorrow.
Food's ready. Instead of me making sandwiches, Vince made strombolis, and I made some Portuguese bean soup. And though it seems that strombolis and Portuguese bean soup wouldn't pair well, they do. You sure you don't want any, Buzz?
Okay, you've talked me into it. But if it is possible, I'll have to take it with me. As I said, I gotta be at Fort Bounty at 0500. I could have the soup and stromboli for my lunch tomorrow. Don't worry about your friends from the laboratory, though. They swept up my staff, too, including Private Tuppet Middlebottom. Imagine thinking he was some sort of illegal immigrant when he was born right in Molehonua.
What can we do, though, General Grunt? That new president and Felon Rasta out of control. If Pascal worked himself half to death, what about the other laboratory workers still there?
I'll handle it. I got friends who work in immigrations and customs enforcement, and if Pascal's co-workers are working themselves to death, I'll send a force in to sweep them up, but not to deport them to Kiteshgrad or Villastronia or Yobkidongsan.
That's a great idea. Felon Rustelting Immigration Enforcement swept everyone up and deported them. He won't know where to look for them, and can't demand that they return to work.
It will also keep them safe from being deported. Too many of Sim Nation's citizens have been swept up. You'd think they'd be more careful.
They aren't careful. They're just being cruel. Poor Laszlo. Poor Vedgonda.
Stay strong for them. They will be back home before you know it.
Well, I'd better go and pack a thermos of soup and stromboli for General Grunt, so that he can get to bed on time. I'll be back shortly to take you to the dining room, Pascal. Then, I'll take you to Strangetown University Hospital when you've got some food in your stomach.
Thanks, Doctor. The other lab workers need me. If I don't help them, they could die from overwork. Forgive me, Buzz. Forgive me, Vince. Forgive me, friend.
Pascal. I suspected as much.
General Grunt, Pascal already got into hospital. Why you gotta give him one concussion on top of that?
Because you didn't sedate him.
Because I don't like kill him.
Well, don't just sit there shouting at me. Get him to the hospital. And Pascal, if you try to sneak back to work again tonight, or any day this week, I will personally render you physically unable to walk into work. Is that clear?
No broke his legs too, you're crazy.
Chairman Lopane, I believe you have a match to arrange with Pascal.
But...
In 2 weeks' time. So if you know what's good for you, you'll obey Dr. Shiroyama and the staff at Strangetown University Hospital and use that time to rebuild your strength. I must agree with Chairman Lopane. Felon Rust doesn't deserve you or your brothers. Any laboratory, not only in Sim Nation, but in the entire world would love to have the Curious Brothers working for them. You would be working for the betterment of humanity, not just to make a billionaire richer than he already is.
So, I'm going to have to arrange this match now, because you're not listening.
And if you even hope to fight Vince, you'd better rest up for the next 2 weeks. No, you'll have no choice but to rest. Who knows? In 2 weeks' time, you might just be strong enough to defeat Vince. And if you win, we won't interfere with your desire to return to work. But hopefully things will be better by then.
But here's the thing. If I win, you have to take a vacation. And in Kalua Coco.
Yes, but for tonight and the next 2 weeks, you rest and rebuild your strength. Let's get you to the hospital.
General Grunt kept his word and arranged for recently retired veterans to conduct full raids on the Giordano Bruno laboratories and other organizations operating on skeleton crews due to the raids. Over the next 2 weeks, scores of lawyers were hired to get the people wrongfully rounded up across Sim Nation back to their homes.
このおもちゃで何ができる？
So, here's where most of my staff got to. Most of you didn't get deported through Las Verezas after all. Well, you've all got work to finish, and you're way behind schedule. So get back to the Giordano Bruno laboratory at once. Those from the Edison Automotive Corp, get that there also. We've got the Cyber SUV to release next month. Don't know where you are all hiding for the past 2 weeks. In this stinking arena? Oh, so you were hiding out here. Figures Chairman Lopane and Dr. Shiroyama would hide your worthless asses here. Ought to check up their legal status and maybe deport them back to Transylvania and outer space respectively. This country is for humans, not for half-breed vampires and aliens. Well, get moving. You've got 2 weeks of work to catch up on.
Looking back, I barely remembered what happened after that. All I wanted to do was to save my brothers and my friends, many of whom became like family over the years. Whether they were to be imprisoned, deported to what amounted to be a concentration camp, or condemned to work themselves to death under the euphemism of mandatory overtime, I could simply not allow that. Felon Rust survived my attack,
but he was severely wounded, as was I. Although I didn't know it at the time, I had been hospitalized under a false name in a secure unit in a hospital in Kaulakoko. Well done, Chairman Lopane. You've won.